Twitch never wants to load my dashboard half the time. Come on, Twitch. Thank you. Okay. It is Saturday. I think we're live. We're gonna do arty things today. We're gonna try. Alright, I need... I need our reference image. So let's see just what the heck we're doing here. Alright. So how is everybody today? Saturday, it's apparently Memorial Weekend. I thought it was next weekend because Time and I don't get along. So how is everybody? Everybody doing good, I hope? Alrighty. So today... Oh, look now. Get out of there. Don't know if we'll be finished today, but we'll see how far we get. We'll see. We are working on our acrylic painting here. We've got our reference in the corner. We're kind of doing like a mix of like line art, impressionism, abstract thing here. So, I didn't have time last week to get the leaves on our trees here that we just put in. So we're gonna start with that. And we'll see how things go from there. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad here. I'm not sure if I'm using the same brown as last week. I might not be. I guess it's not too much of a problem. We'll see. It does seem a little bit lighter. But it doesn't have to be too terribly spot on. I'm using a different brush. This part, I don't know if we're really going to be able to line this part. This is going to be a little bit more difficult. Maybe we should line this part. I was like, oh no, we'll pounce it in. I'll grab the pouncy brush. 'Cause I didn't want to fuck up the good new brushes doing the pouncy stuff. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's gonna look very, very different if we don't. So let's just get this mixed up here. I'm just mixing a color on the tray. I know it's not fully on the screen because of how I'm holding it. So let's get a little bit more water in there. Alright, we'll see how that does us. You sure you're good? You didn't need me for nothing?
Just seeing if you remember. Oh, there they are. Never mind. Trying to find the containers for the cat grass.
Oh.
Do that real quick before I water. Just water everything.
Don't water the lime tree.
Okay.
I think that's been getting too much water. The packaging on that said once a week. It's not looking so good. I don't think it's gonna survive. Let's see here. What the banana Snowy wants? What the banana Snowy wants? I guess we'll go with this guy. I've been using this guy, I think. Yeah, I can see the paint on him. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm not really sure how I want to go about this to try to get these leaves in here. We're just gonna kind of wing it, I guess, and see where this takes us, I suppose. That's all we really can do. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Don't know what everybody has planned. Traditionally, a lot of people do like barbecues and stuff. We're not really doing anything. Don't really have the money to really do anything. And I'm just fine with that. It's fine. Besides, it's gonna be kind of hot and sticky out. Not quite used to it being sticky here. It's usually more of a drier heat here. And the past couple of days, it's been steamy and sticky, kind of sauna-like. It's been strange. And you're like, well, how are you gonna tolerate Florida if you don't like it now here? Well, it's different. The parts of Florida that we travel to when we are there, there's usually some kind of breeze. And at times there's not been much of a breeze here, oddly enough. As windy as it normally is here. In the past couple of days there's been like not much wind at times. We're also supposedly in for more severe thunderstorms tonight, potentially. It's so funny. So we've been having problems with the code red warning weather phone calls that our town uses instead of like sirens and stuff. Which, you know, fair enough. Not everybody's gonna hear a siren, especially if they're inside and at night asleep, you know. So, you know, it's good. It's good when it works. We've tried to redo it a couple times because there's been times where we were actually in a tornado warning and we never got a phone call. And we're like, excuse me, what the fuck? The only reason we knew is because I was already watching the weather. And it's like, okay, that's not cool. So the last time when we tried to do it, husband got a notification that we weren't in the covered area. And I'm like, what? Did they move the covered area? Because that's some bullshit. Because we were in the covered area before. Why are we suddenly not in the covered area? Like, huh? This doesn't make sense. Like, none of this makes sense. And he's like, I don't know. So we picked up a couple different other apps on his phone just to kind of, you know, ask coverage. One of you fuckers should work, right? So, last night, what is this on my arm? Ow, I don't know, but that was like stuck to it. Last night, we ended up in a severe thunderstorm warning, and the husband's phone went off with the text. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, but what's the severe thunderstorm warning for? Is it wind? Is it hail? Is it tornado possible? What's it for? Because it didn't tell him. It just said that we were in a severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm like, that's not... Thanks, but that's not 100% helpful. And I'm sitting here, and it took like a good 5 to 7 minutes later that our local news station, their weather map was updated with the warning on it. And I'm like, okay, so it's just wind and hail. And small hail. It wasn't... It was like just barely in the severe category. I was like, okay. That's fine. And then all of a sudden, and before the local news had even updated, we got a weather warning call. And I was just like, who the fuck is... He's like, what? He goes, who is this? I said, that's the Code Red phone call. He's like, seriously? I'm like, apparently. Yeah, I should have done the outro first. That's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it when we go to put the levies on. So we got a phone call for that before the weather map had even updated. First Code Red call we've gotten this year, I believe. But it seems like his mom got a call about it and called us to tell us. And we're like, why the fuck is it going to your phone when you're not even here? We're like, was her phone overriding the house line? Like, it was supposed to go to house line. It was very strange. It was supposed to go to, like, house line and cell phone. Unless they've been having trouble. But that was mildly vexing last night. And then we were out of the severe thunderstorm warning, like, not even 10 minutes later. Like, the storm moved. And, like, folded itself kind of northward. So we were barely on the edge of it to begin with. And I'm like, okay, so it's gonna call us for that. The next time we're, like, right in the thick of it. I think it thundered twice, you guys. Like, I don't want the severe weather. I'm just flabbergasted. Because I'm like, okay. All the other severe stuff that we've been in, where it's been loud and roary and bangy and whole house shuddering thunder and lights dimming, never got a warning, but I never got a warning phone call, but this one, it like lasted like 2 minutes for us. I was like, and we were out of the warning. I'm like, okay. Husband and I were like, is that it? I was like, I guess so. My mom said she did see hail. We didn't see it or hear any of it. But I think she was outside when we got the weather alert. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll rinse this guy off. It's just so strange. But we're apparently under the gun again later tonight. Fun. So I will be glad when this mess is over. How do we want to do this? Do we want... Can't even really see that brown. Like, that's really tough to see there. I'm sorry about Planet Zoo yesterday, but life happened. So I just sprayed my face with paint, closing that. Yeah. So yeah, life happened. So sorry we had to end up canceling that. I really didn't want to, and I didn't think I was gonna have to. They were supposed to show up at 12. And I'm like, this can't possibly take them that long. Right? It should be fine. They didn't get here till, I think, almost 1. A little after we'd actually called. We're like, you guys did say today, right? Not next Friday. We're like, no, we said today. They've been dispatched. We're like, okay. Maybe they had to get lunch on the way or something. That's fine. We just wanted to make sure we weren't waiting for nobody, you know. I understand jobs can run late and problems and stuff. That's fine. Just making sure. Like, not trying to be weird or bitchy or anything. They were gone by like a little after 2, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we could have gotten something done, but at that point I'd already canceled. Because I'd canceled when it was getting to be going on 1 and they hadn't been here yet. So, and I didn't know how loud the dogs were going to be and how loud they were going to be trying to fix this. And it turned out they weren't too loud, and the dogs didn't seem to give a flying fuck, and I was like, oh, okay. One of the cats was more of a problem of being underfoot than they were. Guess the dogs were like, no, you're fine. I guess. I don't know. But I'd already canceled at that point, so it was like, okay. Like, I had everything all set up on the channel to go. I did get the flamingos and flowers gouache painting speed felt done, because I know a good portion of that wasn't live streamed. I had been working on that in spare time, as well as some on stream. But I'm pretty sure I'd finished that one off stream, and you guys just ended up seeing the end result for the most part. So that speed paint is up on the channel, and I forgot yesterday in my rush to get it up to put the music list in the description. I had already had it typed out as I was putting it in and just forgot to add it. I did add that this morning. I happened to think about it this morning. I was like, oh shit. I'm an idiot. Spent all that time documenting the song list for what was what timestamp, and as I was putting it in, and forgot to put it in. Good job. But that's in there now. I'm working on the speed felt for the last needle felting that we just wrapped up, number 11. Husband is still working on 10. So I don't want them to get too stacked up. I would like to get them posted before we finish out the season at least. We'll see. Life's been crazy. I'm just kind of dumbfounded a bit that the sink became such of a problem. I should have known. And I guess part of me did know that it wasn't going to be as simple as I thought.
I feel the urge to point out, I did predict that we'd have to replace the damn sink.
Well, we didn't replace the whole sink. It was just the faucet.
Okay, I did predict we had to replace everything but the tub. Remember I took you pricing at one point about it? I kind of figured that was where it was going to go, but I had hoped I could replace the washer, but they don't make them anymore, so...
Yeah, like, what should have been a simple 15-minute fix for just replacing a washer to keep the sink from leaking. Nope, nope, nope. Some were like, okay, we'll have to replace the faucet. Except we couldn't get the old faucet out. We tried for hours. I was down under there, the husband was under there, we tried and tried and tried and tried, and then we gave up, and we called the plumber yesterday morning, and they're like, yeah, we can be there at 12, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And boy, didn't they have a great time trying the same thing.
Yeah, they had the same exact problems we were having. They were having a very difficult time getting that faucet off of there, so I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad that we weren't able to. Apparently this wasn't our...
Like, they ultimately had to bust out a tool and just break the damned, break the hoses.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't our incompetence that was...
I couldn't get the leverage for that. They had... The little guy ended up getting it.
Yeah. They had
the big guy just couldn't get in there and get a grip.
They had a skinny guy with them that was, like, about, skinny as a tree, and, he ended up getting under there. My arms weren't long enough. I was under there, and I could see it, but I couldn't get the right angle. We were beginning to think we were going to have to rip the sink off the counter, and we really, really didn't want to do that. If we could avoid it, because that was, opening us up to a whole host of other problems, trying to put it back in, that we just did not want to fuck with. But they were having the same problems we did. They finally managed to break some plastic nuts or whatever was holding the water hoses to the bottom of the sink where the faucets are. After they did that, it took them like 10 minutes. But yeah, so life happened. It was an expense we really didn't want and really didn't need right now. So we're still recovering from the water heater replacement. but at the same time, we had already broken the faucet off of the other fixture, and we'd been dealing with this leak for months now, and it was getting worse to where it was just kind of like a thread thin stream of water starting to come out at times, and I'm like, it's like, no, this water bill is gonna be tremendous. So, like, if we could just not. That would be great. Oh, right. These are supposed to be different colors. Shit, I forgot. Okay, these are like a reddish orange. Okay, well, we'll get this in for our shadow. I mean, we could always make it a different color. It doesn't have to be exactly the same here. Oh yeah, you're fine. So that's why we had to cancel Zoo yesterday. I was kind of bummed about canceling Zoo because I was...
Yeah, because you might actually roll your barnyard at some point.
I know. It's kind of sad. Pretty soon, exhibit animals are going to have to get taken off of the wheel. Because man, oh man, that wheel loves the exhibit animals. So I think the husband and I are going to attempt to Diablo again tonight.
That's the plan.
It's not on the schedule. I had taken Saturday night streams off because we weren't doing them for a while. But we'll be on our Rogue and Wizard combo.
I assume so.
I mean, we got pretty far last week. Well, not that far, because we were dicking around. But, you know, now that we've settled into a character selection, we should probably get some decent mileage on them tonight, level-wise at least. Ooh, buddy, let's not spill that, okay? That was close. Did you see me panic there? Almost dropped that paint palette. That would have been a disaster. I'm in old clothes, or clothes that don't matter if they get paint on them. There's a reason why we wear those when we are painting. Gotta get my headphones charged. So that's kind of, excuse me, pinky. Did I not grab any? Guess we didn't. Alright. Let's see here. I mean, I could try to bullshit mix something, but I don't think I've got the right colors to try to bullshit mix something that are out. Give me 1 second. That'll do. Okay. If these severe storms would stop, I could get my silly flamingo that makes me happy back outside. But That's been a bit of a fight there. Okay, I think we're gonna move to a different lid now. So I'm gonna get some red. And we'll get some autumn orange. We're gonna try to get some autumn orange. There we go. A little bit of white. And let's see here. Could probably use some of the brown from the other palette, 'cause I need to kind of orangefy this red. And I need to tone it down a bit. It's a little too red. Kind of looking for like a burnt orange. So let me grab some of our brown that we just used. That's not a bad shade. I kind of want another bloop of brown there though. Okay, it's a little muddy, but that's okay. That's okay. Kind of like a rusty cinnamon. Yeah. That's good. Another scoop of orange, I think. Easy there, paint. And one more scoop of red. Paints are getting rambunctious here. Okay. A little bit more water. Okay. So we'll get this guy. This guy's got a little bit more. Oh, that's that. That's okay. One of these has a little bit more sassy yellow in them. And that's okay. Can't really see our new color going in all that much. Should have some yellow pulled out here. If I don't, yeah, I see a couple. Okay. So if I'll kind of glazed these trees over with some color here. Whoop. Smacked the desk. That's okay, I guess. So this one will probably come back in with a little more like burnt yellow. Yellow ochre. if I can kind of get there with it. We'll see. Don't know if I can get there with it. We'll try. Okay, that guy's kind of a little bit more visible now. These both kind of have that slightly like burnt orange undertone to them in spots. I feel like there's a doggy standing behind me, but I might be wrong. But I'm kind of getting the feeling that I'm being stared at. My one dog that was a bit of a nut job, he would do that. Yeah, I am being stared at. Hi! What's up? Do you have to pee? He would stare at me to wake me up. He would just stare me down through the blanket, and I'd wake up feeling it. I'm like, can I help you? This guy, this one in the front will probably add a little bit more of like some reds and maybe some like corally pinky poos. We'll have to see. Well, those brush strokes got a little bit wider than I necessarily wanted. Happens. Still kind of see bits and pieces of our pine trees back there, kind of shining through. Tomorrow we'll be back to working on needle felting with Bob Ross's Joy of Painting, Season 3, Episode 12. I have a feeling we might be in the middle of the last episode when we head out in September. Which means as soon as we're done that one, we need to start Christmas presents. As crazy as that sounds. But the husband's present's going to take a little bit of time. And I don't really know what I'm doing for my mom yet. I have a big idea of something we might be able to do. It's going to involve the wood burner though. For at least part of it. Or we could do... or we could do tissue paper. That we could. That is an idea. Oop!
Sorry.
Shaky, 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 shaky.
Sorry.
Shake it, shake it, shake it. Door banged my desk.
Sorry.
It's okay. So that's what that thump was through the microphone. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll clean the brushy boo. As best as we can here. I think I want to get some cleaner water. It's kind of muddy. Okay. So. Alright, I want that on that side, so I'm not crossing over front here. Alright, we need yellowy guy. Who's this? This is bright yellow. Alright, now I'm gonna grab some of our brown here that we used in the shadows, and some of our yellow. Not gonna be a perfect ochre, but it'll kind of get us to the shade that I'm looking for next on this guy. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we'll tinge that with just a little bit of orange. Alright, I need a little bit more water, just because it's a little bit thicker than I really want it to be. It's still a little bit thick. Alright, grab a little bit more of our brown here. Just don't want it too brown, you know? Is that too brown? Feels a little too brown. That should be a good, yeah, there we go. Okay. A little bit more water. It's not to the right. Okay, that looks probably like it's where I want it. Well, one more. Okay, let's go with that. Alright. No. Oh, paint on the desk. I know it's inevitable, but I'm just trying to keep that from getting out of hand. Alright, so I'm just kind of flicking in our new color of our branches here on this guy that's going to sit a little further back. Just kind of bring in a few of them over the side there. Can't forget the edges. I mean, if you want to forget your edges, if your edges aren't going to show, then you do what you want with them. Mine will probably be visible. Unless we end up getting a frame for it. Okay, so we got that guy chilling back there. Other tree has maybe a touch of yellow. Doesn't have a whole lot. Got a slightly different mix of coloration going on it though, but you can see a little bit here and there. Not too much. Okay, now grab a bit more of our yellow here. A little bit more water. A little bit of white. I just want to lighten this up just a touch. Without going too crazy. So you can see that is, oh, if I move it, you can see it. So you can see that is a different shade. There up against its friend. All right. Put in a few brighter guys here. Just to kind of distinguish this one from the other. Just a bit. Try not to go too ham on it. We inevitably end up doing that, but okay, that's not too bad. Alright, so our other tree guy here. We have some decisions to make. He's kind of got like more of a reddy orange kind of deal here, so let me get some more water down here. Gonna grab some of our orange. Oop. Some of our red. Oh, red eat the orange. Okay. Maybe a little bit of white. That's not too bad. Let's get a little bit more. See how our orange looks in here. That's not bad. So here, from the image I'm looking at, it almost feels like a muddy, creamy, like frosted reddish brown. Just a dab. Just one more dab. If I can get it. I think there might have been a little bit of green that got into there. Okay, that's not bad. And then we'll go a tick lighter for our super highlighty bits. Nope, not quite where I want it to be. When I do that, I'm looking to see how the paint's gonna run from the puddle, how it's gonna spread out. So I've got a good bit on the brush. I'm looking at the speed that it's running out. That it's running away from us with. Okay, let's try that. So if it's real thick, it's not going to spread out. Okay, let's go with that guy. This guy's going to be still a little bit dark here. Remember, we're thinking of the shape of this tree. And we're remembering that it is sitting in front of this other guy. So we can come in front of him, we can get on top of him. Like, we don't want to completely work him out of the scenery here, but see, this shade is a little bit lighter than that. It's got a little bit more of some red action happening here. Okay, and he's starting to get a little bit separated out from our other friend here. Which is good. We do want it a little bit separated. At least with these guys. Like, they're kind of... They look like they're overlapping. The upper branches might be intermingling. Like, they're not right next to each other. This one's up on the bank. That one's back just a little bit, but their branches kind of got a little friendly there. They branched out to say hello to one another. Get this worked into here. Oh no. The homeownership peer pressure is starting.
I started it by fucking weed whacking, so ain't no one's fault but my own.
We ran out of weed whacker string, and we've been needing to weed whack really bad. And I'm hoping that those guys don't come through town again and weed whack all of my tall grass that I'm growing tall for the guinea pigs.
Well, I did have to cut a lot of it, hon.
Oh no.
There's still the big thing by the stump.
Oh no.
And I left most of it, like, I only cut it down some, it'll grow back.
Yeah, those other guys obliterated it, and it took months to come back. That's how I've been making friends. I'll have to use other food. But, you know, fresh grass, I was like, oh, this can't be that bad. I've been trying to give them a bit more lately since it was getting taller. So I was kind of like, But it also kind of looks decorative too, because of where it's at. It doesn't look like overgrown icky. But we keep having these two guys that they don't really understand English very well. A couple times we've interacted with them and we're like, no, don't cut that. That's there on purpose. And they went and cut it anyway. They did it twice last summer. I'm like, I know you're trying to be nice, but we can't seem to understand one another about, please don't touch that. Like, we were more than capable of doing it. We left it there on purpose. Apparently we weren't very clear. And we don't believe they were with the city, but the first time we thought they were, but then the second time not so much. I think they were just doing it to be nice. And it's a lovely gesture. And I appreciate and applaud their efforts. It's just, I had it decorative there to hide the nasty tree stump, number one, and now number two, I'm ripping the tops of it off to feed my guinea pigs. Their treat when we clean them in the morning. So I can't really take them outside for grass time. There's too many predators around here. And it's much too hot now. They'll be baked potatoes if we do. A little bit more water there. So that is a slightly lighter shade. I don't want to go too light. I still want it a little bit muted. Right, let's run with this and see what we are looking like. I think that's our neighbor. Theirs didn't look that bad though.
I'm not even sure who it is, to be honest.
I think it's next door to the right of us. Truck guy. Bless you. Bless you. That's who it sounds like. It sounds too close to be the house on the other side of them.
He might be cut in the back. Actually, it might be the next house down, too.
Really?
Yeah. Not sure yet.
I actually saw one of the kids out there the other night playing with an RC car in the driveway. Like, it's only the second time I've seen those kids outside. Ever. I think school's out for the summer. Or at least our direct neighbors' grandkids are home. Because I saw them coming and going with them. I don't know if we're gonna need to add one more layer of color to this guy. I don't think we need to. I mean, we've got our separation here. At least I feel like we do. That's probably enough. I don't want to completely overdo it. So for those that are new here, the typing that you hear in the background is the husband. We are in the same room. And my microphone loves to pick up his keyboard. I don't know what it is. His microphone doesn't pick up my keyboard as loudly. It does a little bit at times. The few times that he's been streaming on his own. But alright, that's not so bad. Kinda like that. I'm just gonna kinda flick up a couple extra guys here just to kinda get that color in around the top. Alright, that's not so bad. You can kind of see the other colors layered in. So go ahead and we'll clean our brush. We might just finish this guy today. We just might. I have to remember how we did our sky here, because our water might be a little bit similar. Although I think we're going to give the water a little bit more movement, is what I'm thinking. Okay. So, let's see. Have our base color here, which is our deep green and black. So we'll get that down. So our river's definitely moving. I think we'll take one of our browns here. Thinking our bark brown. And we'll start with a little bit of water. A brush full of our bark brown. 2 brushfuls of our deep green black, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go do the 3rd one on that. So it is a bit darker. I need a good amount of this. That's 7. 8. 9. Alright, so that's why I keep adding where I think I've got it to the shade I want to jump off here with. 10. Now I think the base color, was it straight or did we add black to it? Like, it's been a while. I think it started out with the Arteza colors for everything. Okay. And then I couldn't see anything because of how shiny everything was. Is how that story went, I believe. We need just a little bit more. I'm probably gonna have to add more as we go. The wind's picking up now. Okay, let's see how we go with this. So I'm gonna, do I want to trim this? I don't know. So, how do I want to do this? Alright, well I'm gonna try to hit up our edges here. There's not much of a difference with this shade and the shade that's already down. Okay, just wanted to get our edgy friends in place. But we'll work off of this color mixture here. As we move along, and if any of the shiny from the Arteza acrylics or the Liquitex Basics shines through, it's not going to be so big of a deal because it's really hard to see on here, because we're going to put a sealer over this, so yeah, you can't really see that I'm doing anything there. Really see the wet paint coming in. Like, I can kind of see it. But I don't want to go too light, too fast. Kind of thing here. I almost wonder if we should grab our flat for this. And get more of an even stroke. But, oh gosh, you can't even see that going in. Wow. What's that? You're putting a color down? I say I'm putting a color down. It's very transparent. I certainly don't see it. I don't think the camera sees it either. It certainly doesn't look like the camera sees it. The camera's not even picking up the wet spots from the paint. Wow. You know, I was hoping it would do a little bit more than that, but at least until we started working in our other colors here. We've got that pretty close to that shade. So I'll try to move quickly with this shade since it's not being quite so visually cooperative. I can kind of see it starting to come in over here. But it is a little bit tough. So right, just kind of trying to do some slight movement here with the direction of our lines, though I'm having trouble seeing what I've done so far, so that's not really going to be that helpful to you guys. I might grab a flat just to get these lines a little bit more uniform, maybe. Okay. So I want to get a slightly grayed version of this. So see if I can get some of this paint off of the top of the bottle. Alright, who is this? Who is this indeed? Charcoal. Okay. So add some water and get our charcoal color going here. Probably not going to take a whole lot with the charcoal. That's still pretty bright. I mean, I wanted it a little bright, but not that shade of brightness. We need to dull that down a little bit. Just a little bit. So that's a similar shade. Definitely is a similar shade. It's a little bright, I think, but let's see what we can do here. I want it a little bright though so that we can see this shade coming in. Alright, you can see them next to each other. It does look a heck of a lot brighter. water-wise yet. We'll get there though. We'll get there. So hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's Memorial weekend. I think it's Memorial weekend. I've lost track of time. I think Monday's Memorial Day. Yeah, you know what it is, because our trash pickup this week's on Tuesday. Do you remember seeing something about that now? Okay, let's go with this, right? But I'm gonna grab a flat. I like these brushes, they don't roll away on me. Let's see, do I have a small flat? Do we have a small flat? We have a messed up flat that I tried to do something with. That didn't work. Actually, it kind of works for trees. I thought I had a smaller flat than this. That's a makeup brush. Alright. I like my makeup brushes for blending. Just gonna dampen you up. This might not do what I want it to. We will see. Oh gosh, this is still super dark. Like this coming in here. Still super, super dark. Compared to, it's not much different. Like I can kind of see the other color. Kind of, now that it's dry. Or mostly dry. This line might be thicker than I really want. This is a very old paintbrush. Yeah, we're gonna have to go way, way later. You can kind of see vaguely. The other shades of this. Trying to appear. Wow, that line's super thick. I think it's just because it's on the edge there. We'll see. I'm gonna start getting this a bit lighter here in just a minute. I think we're gonna have to add some white to this. Either this shade or the base shade here. It might be maybe the grade version. with a little bit of white mixed in, just to start to brighten this guy up a bit. Oh, we've got to do the bottom edge too. I just realized. Yeah, it's like really hard to see my own shades here. Alright, so I'm just gonna head up this bottom edge here. If you plan on framing your piece, don't necessarily have to do the bottom edge on yours. That's gonna kind of be personal preference, really. Okay. Yeah, that shade's just, that's not working. This brush is very thick. I mean, it might work for the water, but I think it might be a little bit thicker than I'm really wanting right now. Okay, well, we'll let that do its thing there. So we've got a few different colors happening. We're gonna need a fresh white puddle here, because we've also got some of our yellows and pinks getting picked up in our water too. Can I get... I don't want to waste that white, but there is a good bit of orange in there. Got mixed into it already. Oh, that's very bright by comparison, but we kind of need it to be a bit brighter. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with a flat. I have a smaller flat, but I don't know. Trying to make sure we have enough here. I'm also afraid of going too bright too quickly. It's definitely brighter. Alright, so this color should start to appear here. I really thought I had a smaller... That's pretty thick still. I really thought I had. A thinner flat. I have a detail flat. We haven't used them yet. Oh yeah, okay, we can definitely see that one. For sure. I guess we can use one of these guys. I just didn't want to go too chunky. Where's the... Okay. This top. Okay. Let's see how this guy is gonna do. This guy might be too thick. But maybe we want it a little bit thicker, just to break up the line thickness between everybody. Okay, we can see that on the camera. That's good. It's a subtle, we can see it, but it is there. Wow, this guy's like... He kind of got smushed in transit. He's kind of all... He's not very flat for a flat guy. He's like all smooshed in. A couple of them are like that. They didn't stay very flat in there. I mean, they were cheap brushes. I know that, because we had to repair one already. But I do like the handles on them. And these brushes themselves aren't that bad. Alright, that's a little bit better. Definitely taking on a gray quality. As we are going along here. And that's kind of what we were trying to do. Like, the river's not very bright. It's kind of subdued in some places. It's a bit muddy in places. So I don't want to go sky bright on it. If we can help it. Sorry, I heard a strange crinkly noise. Wasn't quite sure what was going on. Looks like the cat's getting into something. One of the cats. Looks like Cal's getting into something or other that's on the bed. I don't even know what it is. Might be a piece of plastic trash. I know there's a box on the bed. And I'm not sure if he's trying to get in it or sit on it. Although that box might not be there anymore. I'm not certain. So what's everybody up to? You guys like to paint? I just like to watch other people paint. Hoping to get inspired watching somebody else do something while putting your own little twisty two on it. So I'm trying to give us a little bit of movement. Where I can. I usually can't talk anymore today. I usually use rounds. So using a flat feels very strange, but it's kind of working for this. Give us a little bit more of a chunky line here. So this is going in a little bit, it's drying, I should say. Like, it's a lot lighter than that one, but it is drying with a gray tone to it, and that's fine. We did add gray to it, so I'm not really complaining. Just kind of stating why it looks the way it does. Plus it's a little bit transparent, so it's going down on these other colors, right? So it's going to look a little bit darker. Like, as it's drying, it looks a little more like pure gray, and I know it's not. But, oh, we're gonna have sirens in a second. At least it sounds like we will. They sound like they're coming. Oh, boys. It sounds like an ambulance. Hard to believe that May is almost over. Next weekend, I think, is going to be June, right? So it's kind of crazy. It doesn't really feel like we should be quite that far through the year already. Alright. So we got that in there. Just rinsing out our brushy boo here. Okay. Now, while that guy is drying, okay, I want... Oh, that was the wrong brush. Okay. That was... Is this the brush that we just used? No. Okay. Alright then. So I guess that's okay. Alright, so there's that. I'm gonna get a little bit of... Oh shit, did I just get paint on that? I did, but you know what? That's okay. Got paint on one of my hairbands. Okay. I'm gonna grab a little bit of one of our yellows that we used on our sun. Wow. Wow. You know, oh, because it's probably because the black is mixed in with that green. Oh, okay. That's, it's a lot greener than I had been anticipating. That's not a bad shade of green, but do I really want that for the river, though? I mean, we've got so much green in here already. So can we tone that down a little? At the very least. It's almost taking on like a purpley brown. No, that's more of like an olivey, muddy color. I mean, well, it looks like an olive green. Fuck. I mean, it's not terrible. You know what? Let's go for it. So that kind of looks like our foliage green, though, doesn't it? Pretty close. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like this in here, but you know, maybe there's some algae growing. Like, it shouldn't be too bad once it dries. And we're gonna get some other colors in here. As we go. Wow, depending on where this is sitting, seems to determine. Oh, I didn't do our front edge. I keep forgetting about that. How much of our yellow is kind of coming through here. I might have to clean off another lid here. To get all of our water finished up getting put in here. Maybe. We'll see. But maybe. We will see. Alright, so I'm kind of just like moving these guys along. I'm trying to put a little bit of different angles on them in some spots. Probably not coming across that great. But you can kind of see it. Kinda. We'll go with a little bit more white in our base green here next. Just to kind of get this guy lightened up to where he needs to be. 'Cause he's definitely not there yet. That's for certain. Cow, what are you sitting on that is making so much crinkle? My guy. Like, inquiring minds are getting distracted by the noises that the cat is making while he is perching on something. Something plastic. Or plastic-y. And at this point, I'm not sure if he really should be sitting on it. So we're kind of getting that movement in there. I wasn't so sure about this color, but now that it's in here, it kind of feels like it belongs, so. You know, rivers can be a little bit muddy and a little bit murky. Because they're moving, right? So they're stirring up all the dirt and sediment, and got some dead plants and all that stuff hanging out in there. So yeah, that's not too bad. And it's definitely a different line thickness from our sky. Kind of debating if I want to do some light gray here. I'm not sure if I should. I'm gonna have to get a new puddle of white here soon. I mean, it's similar to the other color. I just didn't want it to be straight gray. So yeah, that is. We do have different shades happening here, so as long as we can keep that going, we should be all good here. Alright, I'm gonna pick this guy up. Now he looks a bit lighter here. Will it actually stay that light? I don't know. We're gonna have to see what he decides to dry as. After this shade, we'll go a shade lighter on our base color. Just to see where we're at. So I kind of want our pinky yellow to come in here kind of at the end. To kind of finish things off here a bit. I guess it's more of like an orangey, pinky. Corally color. Okay, I'm just kind of moving this guy along. And sort of that kind of motion that you can see on the bottom piece. We just kind of want to give it something happening down here. Just a little something. Where'd you go?
Cook some bacon and have a sandwich.
Oh. We'll just kind of finish getting our chunky guidelines in here. So it's a little bit of a different feel using the flat. Not sure I'm a fan of the flat for this, but it does make it go a little bit faster. Actually, you know, I'm kind of that green that we made, that we put in there that I wasn't so sure about. It's growing on me now, because now that the other colors are coming in, and you can't really see it as much on the camera, but in person it kind of feels like rocks and stuff on the bottom that we're kind of covering up. It's coming across more in person. And we'll try to get some close-up photos when we're all said and done here, that we'll post up on the Instagram and the Ko-fi. Okay. So you can kind of see a little bit happening here. Alright, so now we have 2 more shades of our base color to go here. And I'm gonna need a little bit more of, oh, that's a mess, white. Okay, where am I gonna put you? Alright, so we're gonna get some of our base teal here. Or green black. Looks more green than black though. It just feels like a dark teal. It's gonna need one more scoop of white, I think. Maybe a little bit more than 1 scoop of white. To get this properly shaded here. Okay. I think that's where I want to be color-wise. And now we'll get this all mixed together. Alright, we ready? This is gonna be scary. Let's start out on the edges here. So that way if we totally have regrets, we can have them down here. In the section that's not going to be seen as easily. It's a chunky brush. We might try to go a little bit thinner. When we put in the last 3 colors here. We'll see. I think I'm gonna have to use the other lid though, because I'm pretty much out of room on this guy. Okay. So, you can see that starting to come in here. Alrighty. And we'll just kind of keep trying to get our movement lines in place here. It's not super easy, like I have to keep telling my brain, nope, nope, you want to go that way. But it's not too difficult. Just have to try not to autopilot too much in through here. If possible. Because I know it's easy to just kind of like zone out and start thinking about other things. So I need to do kind of our like orangey, pinky, corally color here. Still. And I need to do a little bit of a yellowy color. Probably like a pale yellow if I can get it toned down enough. And then I want to get a little bit of a white, or at least a very, very lightly tinted, almost white color running through here. We might do straight white. Just have to do a very sparing amount of it. Okay. So I think we'll do the pinky color next. It's like just barely there. Sorry, a little bit of a dried painty chip in there. So I'm gonna swap lids. We're gonna go back to this lid. Now I'm trying to remember what we used to get this other color, and I think it was kind of maybe our coral color here, and I'm thinking it was one of the yellows mixed into it. Which yellow? I don't remember. See what we can come up with here. That might be it. That looks pretty close. To make sure we get it mixed in really good. Yeah, it's not bad. That might be the color, or at least close enough to what we used. Yeah, like the one in the photos a little more pinky. We kind of went with more of like an orange lean on the pink. Doesn't have to match the photo. We were just kind of using our photo for inspiration anyway. And yes, it is similar to the photo in composition. But it's not exactly the same. Alright, I think that needs to be a little bit more flowy. Might have been a slightly different shade of yellow that I used, but I think that's probably pretty good. Alright. I'm just gonna kind of carefully work this in. I want it a little more concentrated in this area. try to make them a little bit more close together. Closer to the one main section. And then as I get a little bit further away, we can spread them out a little bit further. So it'll look a little weird if I don't have a little bit of this coming out here. At least I think it will. At least just, you know, a hint of it here and there. We'll kind of just let that fade out that way. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll probably come back in with a little bit of the straight coral here. Just to hit like this middle section in here. Just to get it a little bit darkened up here, a little more concentrated. All right. Can't forget our front edge, bottom edge thing. And we're just gonna do just a tiny bit on our edges over here. As gently as we can. it's not too bad. Probably got a little carried away with it, but we can always come back in with like our later teal if we have to. Is there a dog standing behind me?
Yes. What's up, buddy?
Do I need to get him?
It's
Has it?
could have sworn I took him out at 2 something.
It's 3:05 now.
Oh my goodness. I know.
Okay. So, I mean, it might be a little much. We might come back in with a little bit of our later sheet of our base color. And just kind of lighten that up a little bit. Kind of depends on how everything starts to look here. As we get the other colors worked in here. Sometimes I do get carried away with my coloring. It happens. But we can tone that down if need be. Which we might. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I might hit that up. With just the slightest bit more of that. Just to give a little bit more concentrated, specifically to where the sun is hitting. But we'll have to see. I don't want to lose all of it. Oh, you smell doggy, buddy. Wow. Not even wet out, but you smell like wet dog. What the hell? You need a spa day. We can get a pair of trimmers to work. Hi, who is rubbing against me? Hi, P-Butt. Are you getting into trouble? You were trying to rip the guinea pig hay out of the top of the cage yesterday. Yeah. we've got some catgrass now. Or seeds. We're gonna see about growing that for you. Okay, so that is a little busy over there. I want to get the yellow in first before I go back in. Well, no, maybe I should tone that down now. While this is still wet. So I don't have to remix this color. Alright. So I don't want to lose all of this that we've worked so hard on. So I'm gonna be careful. Or at least try to be. I'm not necessarily trying to cover up these other colors that we just put in here. What is the matter, Momo? You wanted to come in, or did Daddy make you come in?
I brought him in after he peed, but he's probably begging.
Buddy, I don't have food. I don't know why you seem to think I do. Hey! Pee-butt. Nails, buddy. Pee-butt is tapping my leg while he's washing his face. Not even really sure why he's sitting on top of this box, but he is. Momo. I don't have food, bud. And you can't have treats yet. We're still trying to get your potty sorted. It's not quite dinner time. You got a little bit longer. Like, his pH is coming down ever so agonizingly slowly. But he still seems to have some crystals in there. Like, we can see it with the sample that we got from him. So we're like, Our vet's been closed for a couple of days, or most of the week, because one of their clients, somehow rammed the building with their car. I'm still not sure if it was intentional or not. That's still kind of out the lunch. They didn't say, but they had structural damage to the building. There was a hole in one of the walls. Doesn't sound like anybody in the building was hurt. But it did, like, destroy where they do surgeries, so they had to do a makeshift surgery in another room. And then move exams to just one room, so they've been a little frazzled this week while they try to get their main room sorted. It's a small vet. It's a country vet. Out in the middle of the farm, landy bits, but he works with us on some stuff, so we're like, okay. We do have a secondary vet, but the secondary vet hasn't seen Momo for his potty issue. We might need to get a couple more cans of this food that he's on. We're not going to have enough to get through the weekend, and they don't reopen till Tuesday. And I don't think the other vet will give it to us, if they even have it. We can't seem to find it in any of the pet stores. In the version that he's eating. So we're gonna have to give him something else for a couple of days until we can get up there Tuesday. A lot of places closed for Monday around here. I know the craft store was never closed. We had to fucking work. In fact, I think that was a weekend we had a sidewalk sale. I actually hated the sidewalk sales so much. Because it was so fucking willy-nilly out there. You were kind of running it like a fucking yard sale. Because a lot of it was like the discontinued shit that they just wanted gone out of the back room. That didn't have a home on the shelves. And they tried to price the stuff. But then stuff got jumbled into other boxes. And I'm pretty sure one of the ladies that's been there for forever, or that was there for forever, was just kind of like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, yeah, okay, we'll just do it for this price. You can't return it, though. This stuff you can't return. Because we didn't have a scan bar out there. It was like a old just price register. It's like, no. All sales are final out here. Like, I'll get my ass in trouble if you return this. Because I don't think that's what I was supposed to sell it to you for. Yeah, so I think we kind of got carried away on our water, but that's alright. If it makes us happy. That's all that really matters, right? Okay. I just need to do a little bit on the front. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Alright. Now, I think we just need our white. Momo, I don't have any food, bud. It's paint. It's not food. I think I replaced your water bowl earlier. I know I picked it up. I did put another one down, right? Yeah. He's just bored and mad and not feeling great and hungry because he wants dinner now. He doesn't understand why he can't have goodies like he did before. But all those goodies before are what got us in this mess. Got a little bit of yellow in there. It's not what I wanted. Not really. I mean, it won't look too bad. Lots of traffic today. Now back home in Jersey, this would be the kickoff for the beach summer officially starting. Who's looking out the door?
Ed.
So it would be a real big weekend down at the Jersey Shore. So like Wildwood, Atlantic City, Ocean City, New Jersey. All the businesses open up on the boardwalk and stuff. Some of them are open year round, but very few are. There's not enough business to bother opening half the time. It's like some boardwalk businesses might have only been open on the weekends during like the colder months. Kind of hitting this up with a little bit of our white. Gonna get some waterline action. Happening down in there. Although our white looks very, very teal here. Just because I've got some water in it. So we're a little extra transparent. There's a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. I think I got a drop of yellow. Kind of mixed in there. over. Alright, we're almost done this one, guys. Not really sure what we're gonna do yet next week. Haven't really thought quite that far. Okay, that's not terrible. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible. We've done worse. Alright, I'm gonna try to get my brush rinsed out here. And cleaned up. This guy goes in that container. That goes in that container. Alright, now grab a little bit of water into our like coral color here that was starting to dry. See if we can get this in here. Put our little flamingo-y footy. Put in here. Okay. And we're gonna rinse that guy real good. Alright. Dry him off. Okay. Now, the tough part. Actually, I think I'm gonna need another guy here. What brush do I want to do this with? Do I want to do it with this guy? Do I want to use our unicorn obnoxiously colored makeup brush? We could. Alright, let me see here. Ow! That was my knee. Alright, so now we're gonna need. I don't know if these are gonna work, but we're gonna try. Oh, that's some out. Here we are. What was that? I'm still not sure I'm going to use that brush. Okay, so I got my little drying triangles, but I'm afraid it's going to leave a bump. Right? So I don't have these secured onto here. So we're gonna have to be super careful. This feels big, but I don't really have another one that I'm okay with fucking up. So I don't have a dish here. So give me 1 second. I have to go printing for something here. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Alright. And now to really super confuse the hell out of people. That over there. Alright, so that's a dirty paint lid. Yeah, I know it's a dirty paint lid. And because I don't have a brilliantly clean one at the moment, gonna slide. Oh, you're not gonna fit? Really? There we go. Just gonna say, don't start. Okay. So, did we slip? Nope, that corner just doesn't wanna. Oh, seems like it's a little warped. Gonna grab our. Well, we're gonna shake it really good. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, but. Yeah, this is glossy. Oh, it can be thinned. Continuous brushing, over brushing might make it foggy. Okay. Well, we'll try to avoid that. So, this is... Oh, it is stinky. It is gloss medium. So apparently I can use this as a flow medium for our dot painting too, if it comes to it. Alright, I'm going to start off with our edges here. As best as I can, so this might get a little hard to see. And I apologize for that, but at the moment I need to see this more than you guys do. Edges are always tough. Especially when you're trying to work quickly. Alright. On our corners. My hands are in it. Oh, good. Oh, good. I laid my arm in. I'm more worried about what was going on over here. It's very sticky when it's wet. And I know some people use like a squeegee to get like a real non-brush strokey finish. I don't really have a squeegee that I can use for this. So we're just gonna do our best here and try not to leave too many strokes behind. Although down in here it's starting to get a little strokey. I kind of prefer to use Mod Podge, but sometimes the results aren't always the best with the Mod Podge, like the after results. Like, it's not bad. It will seal it. This one almost looks slightly purpley tinged. Or it's pulling the dye out of the tips of this brush. That is also possible now that I'm looking at it. Oh dear. I wonder if I had that problem before with this brush and that's why I stopped using it. We haven't really had anything to seal in a while. I think the last thing we sealed was the... Did we even seal that? I don't remember if we sealed the line art chicken at Christmas. Like, I honestly don't remember. You kind of have to work fast with this and have it not do that or that or that. The times that I don't use the brushy sealers, I will just spray it. That's gonna leave all kinds of ridges. Now this is also a gloss finish because it's what I had. I know some people actually or I've seen some people actually use resin to seal their stuff with. Ugh, I've got a bunch of this on the side of my arm. Trying not to overbrush this. So we don't get too froggy. Because it dries pretty quick. Like, it won't be full ass completely dry. Like within 5 minutes, but it's definitely getting tacky. Okay, I think, ow. See if I can grab this without dropping it. Or a bunch of other stuff. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss any spots. Doesn't really look like we have. And that bit in there, that's just the thickness of it. Okay. Now I won't know for sure if I'm going to need another coat until it's dry. I shouldn't. Like, I don't foresee us having to do a second coat here. Though I will say there is a bit in the middle. Right? The heck was that? It sounded like air brakes. Was that you, Momo?
No, I heard it outside too.
Like, there shouldn't be anything. Okay, well, we'll run with that, and we'll see how that goes. I need to get that in some water. Yeah, like the bit that I stuck my arm in is there something outside?
There's a Lowe's truck. I think the neighbor's getting a replacement.
Oh, they're finally bringing the...
Yeah, looks like it.
Alright, so I think that's gonna do it for today. We'll get some photos of this guy when it's fully finished drying, and we can get the lighting right on it. But it's not too bad. You can kind of see it through the drying sealer. And at least this one I don't have to leave to sit outside to dry. Just have to make sure the cats don't jump up here while it is drying, but it's not too bad. It's different than what we usually do, but different can be good sometimes, so you know. there's that. I know it looks a little weird and milky at the moment, but that's because of in those spots it's a little bit thicker. But the rest of it's drying. It does dry clear. I've got some on the side of my arm, so you know, it just takes a minute. Tomorrow we'll be back with our needle felting project. Again, apologies for having to miss Planet Zoo yesterday, but the plumbers were more important than streaming because we needed a functioning kitchen sink. So, and we had dishes stacking up. So I will see you guys tomorrow for needle felting. Have a good evening. Oh no, wait, we'll be back tonight. I forgot. We don't normally stream Saturday night now, but we're trying to do some bonus streams here. So we'll be back tonight, actually, after dinner. What do you think, 7 or 8-ish?
Probably 7-ish.
Maybe 7-ish. Between 7 and 8 p.m. Central. We'll be getting going. We'll be back doing some Diablo. We'll be duo streaming. I'll have his stream up in the corner. And we'll be doing some Diablo 4. We're doing a wizard sorcerer. No, that's the same thing. We're doing a sorcerer rogue combo for the stream. And last week we got to level 13-ish. I think he's level 14 because he had to catch up his rogue. And we'll pick that back up tonight. Probably be grinding some hill tides and stuff. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. If not, then I will see you tomorrow for needle felting. But enjoy your holiday weekend, those that actually have it as a holiday weekend, and I will see you all later tonight. So until next time, you guys.